All right, so I thought I'd record some trades today on the Nasdaq. So I've just gone short here. Basically, we've had this nice run up into this high, some nice aggressive buying here at the top, and then we've had this good drop down, and then I basically got in on a bit of a retrace back up into this supply. I'm basically looking for, my ultimate goal would be for all of these lows to get taken out. They're all looking pretty weak down into this low volume area. That's my final target, but I'll just manage it as it goes down. My stop's above the high at the moment, but I think once we break, or if we break this low, I'll get my stop above this high, just reducing some of the risk. And then break even for me would probably be probably a test down into these lows, which also corresponds to just the top edge of this volume distribution, right? Because we might have some trouble if we dip under here, test into this volume, we might get a reversal at that point. So I'd want to be break even at that point, or at the very least potentially have my stop just above these highs, so at least reduce half the risk. But see how it goes. I mean, the overall trend for the session is sort of sideways. We had this move up, a drop, and then we're sort of moving higher now. So you can see we're creating these kind of high highs, high lows as we're moving up. So this would just be a quick kind of reaction trade, just based on this failure to go higher. So we tried to get out of these highs. You can see aggressive buying here as we tried to come out, couldn't do it. Got out, some more aggressive buying, then we had this big drop back under. So I'm just looking for the reaction lower off that. Cumulative delta still buying up. You can see we're still moving higher with cumulative delta. So yeah, so the idea or the bias is still long, but I think this is a nice little reaction, at least to sort of see if we can get under these lows or back down into maybe the point of control. All right, so we're breaking down now, so I'm going to reduce my risk above this high that we've formed just there. So I've got at least half my risk off there, and then I'd just basically be looking for this supply area to hold now, because we may buy up under these lows. We might just take out this low and then buy up from there, and that's okay. I'll take a small loss if that happens. Otherwise, I am looking for these lows to get taken out. We've got this small demand area here, down here basically. This demand area, which corresponds with the point of control for the day so far. So that'll definitely be, if we get down there, that'll definitely be an area to look at. But we'll just see what happens here, see if this supply holds and we continue lower. If not, and I get taken out there, that's fine. It's just a half size loss on this trade, which is fine, given it's against the context. It's worth a shot to see if this is going to be a good reversal. But got some risk off, that's the main thing. All right, so just got stopped out there just here. So basically took a half size loss on that, so that's fine. It was worth the shot to see if we get the move lower. It did flush under these lows, as I was expecting, all of these weak lows down into this level, but just didn't get any follow through, so that's fine. The context is up, so I will be looking for long trades now. Ideally, I still want to see it come down and test this point of control under these lows. I think this demand area is a really good spot to see if we can get a long off there, but otherwise, now we've kind of got this this sort of demand here that we're tracking, so I'll also look for longs off that, maybe a break under this little low into that demand, and then see if we get a continuation. All right, so I took a long here. We had that dip down into that demand area. Basically dipped out of it, actually. We took the whole demand area out, and then we had this nice push back up. Once we got back above this volume area, that's where I went long. And my expectation here is, I should get my stop down actually, my target. So my expectation here is essentially for, now that we're back up into this range that we've been in, we've dipped out, couldn't get out, and the buyers came back in. I'm expecting this now to hold and to test up into the top edge of the range, up through all of these weak highs into the supply. So at this point, with that nice push, I'll get to break even. So that's break even now, and basically just looking for this to continue to move up. I like that we tested under these lows and we had this nice aggressive selling. So the sellers got on board as we came under. They got flipped and they're underwater now very much. So I would expect this kind of area to hold once we come back down. Hold the bottom edge now that we've imbalanced back up into this overall range, this overall auction that's been happening, and then I would expect for a continuation up. I may even add to this depending on what happens, and I'll just monitor this. If we come down and we look like we might want to test into this, I might even pull my stop down just behind this high volume area here. So I might actually do that. I might actually keep my stop just behind that high volume area, just in case we want to have a nice little test into it before we even continue on. But this all looks pretty good. And I think if we push back up now into these highs, kind of into all these highs here, if we push back up and break above these highs again, I'll definitely get to break even. I may even trail up sort of as we go. So this overall trade is a nicer one compared to the one that I took a little bit earlier, because we're in the overall context is moving higher. So I like that we've come under this pretty obvious area, tested liquidity down there, had aggressive selling into the point of control, and the buyers have just completely taken control back up above all those areas. So it's a really nice idea now for it to move higher. It may even continue to break the higher day, but don't need all of that. It's basically a what's that? It's at least probably almost a 3-to-1 trade. If we get up in there, it'll be a 3-to-1 now that I've reduced my risk a bit. So we'll see how it plays out. All right, so breaking up through that high, so I'm just going to get my stop to break even now at that point. And looks like my target's almost getting hit there. I'll potentially drag this up. Hopefully we can just get that final little pop up into that upper supply. I don't want to give it too much back now that we've had that good move. All right, I'm just going to watch this. It's a risk-free trade now at this point anyway, so this is the next demand area really, but I don't want to really see it test all the way back down into there. So the trade's essentially done what I expected. It's taken out all of these highs right up into this supply. It just didn't quite get me my fill, and we can see over here on the right on the volume profile, we've got this little low volume node here. So that was probably a better target in hindsight, just that low volume area. You can see we tested up into it and rejected off that pretty hard. So that was the spot to probably get out. And what I might actually do is I'm just going to pull my stop and my target down into that area, just in case we want to revisit it again. There we go. So hopefully we can just get tagged out. There we go. So got my fill there. That's nice. So that was a really nice trade. So we basically entered in down here and got out up here. So that was a really solid trade. And I'm still looking for longs, but we might want to chop around here before the breakout. We'll see. All right, so I've taken another long here. Got a bit of a late fill, actually. So I'm in long from this area here. What I was watching is I'm obviously looking for longs now as we continue up, but there's actually a nice bit of absorption that happens. So if we have a look down here, this little area here, and we actually have a look at the volume that traded, we can see that there's quite a bit of volume that came in here as we had that dip down. A lot of negative delta as well, so a lot of aggressive selling but price really didn't go anywhere. So that's a really good sign of absorption happening just in this little area. You can see this little kick up in volume here. It's a bit hard to see, but price really went nowhere. So that's a good sign that basically there was absorption happening. And I was actually going to jump in there, but then we had this quick, strong pop. So I just had to get in at whatever price I could as we went up. So managed to get in from this level here. And my targets at the moment, we're just basically breaking this high on the 15 minutes. So I don't have a specific target. So I'm just going to look at seeing how we go. There's a lot of aggressive buying now that we've broken out of that high. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of room and see what happens here. If we get another push back up into these highs, I'll get my stop just under this low, which will be 2/3 of the risk off for the trade. At the moment, I've got a target of 27,660, but I'm just going to see how price plays out, how it wants to continue up. I'll probably just try and trail up, given there's no real logical place to target at the moment. Delta's looking good. Aggressive buying, as you can see, aggressive buying. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think I'm pretty happy with the break even at that point with that reaction, and I'm just going to look to try and probably trail this up as well. All right, that's fine. So I got taken out there. A lot of aggressive buying at the top here, right? So if this fails, this could be a lot of trapped buyers, but that's okay. So a nice little trade. Basically got in here, got out there, quick little move. Really would have liked to have gotten in down here where I saw the absorption, and I was very quick to getting a trade on, but price just popped out and I just had to get whatever fill I could. There wasn't really enough time, but it's good to spot this absorption ahead of time because it can show basically that price is potentially going to turn. When the aggressive sellers are coming in, price is really going nowhere and the buyers are just eating up those orders. That's usually a pretty good springboard for an aggressive move after that. But yeah, that was a nice quick little trade. I'm just not too sure what to make of the target, so we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so I'm in along again. I'm going to target 660, see if we can actually get a decent run up. Reason being is we came down, dipped under this low, and we had this nice aggressive selling here. You can see high volume, aggressive selling, but price rejected. And then we basically tried one more time, and then we kicked back up. So then I basically got in long as we are continuing up out of this area. And my target's going to be 660, but we'll see how it goes. In terms of stop management, I think realistically, I could probably get my stop. I'm going to move my stop below this little low here. So that's reducing half my risk. This is basically the risk I've got on now, which is half. So that's good. I've at least halved my risk. Happy with that. And then we'll just see how this wants to play out target wise. So we're breaking out of this 15-minute high. So hopefully we can just get a nice little push. Yeah, so I think break even at this point probably makes the most sense. So I'm just going to go just below this little low. So I'm essentially at break even now. And all right, that's fine. So that was a nice flush up. Basically caught this break higher, aggressive buying at the top. So didn't quite make the 660, but didn't really want to give too much back after that nice reaction. So that was a nice quick move. Basically, this is what the risk reward was looking like. Stop was there, up into there. So that's a nice 2-to-1 trade. And yeah, I think I'll call it that for the morning. So I'm up profitable for the morning, and I'll come back in the London session, do a bit of trading. So yeah, I think we're just going to continue up on the Nasdaq. But yeah, nice little morning.